welcome back to the YouTube channel of Pro Enzo Vid, and today's video is going to be one interesting one because it's predictions and it's obviously something that I personally can see happening with these players I'm about to name very soon. But it's just also players I believe have a point to prove. Like, I think they're all good players in their respect, but I think just probably they've had moments before in the past where that they've struggled a little bit and probably would need confidence to bounce back. And this is why the video is titled top 5 players that I believe can see having a redemption type season in 2023, or just a breakout sort of season, because I think it's always a good thing where you see a player that hasn't been rated too much, or mainly not that, but just I guess having the previous season not being their best, and they sort of bounce back the next season and sort of prove doubters wrong, or just continue off from a not the best season to a good season. So I think with the 5 players I'm about to name very shortly, I think they're players that I see having a big year ahead. But before I do get into my whole list, just want to say thank you again for the new subscribers. But I guess that I like to think that 2,900 subscribers is definitely possible before the end of January, because we are currently how many days away? 11 days away from February, so it's gone quick, January. But I think I can get to 2,900 by then. Just need to, I guess, up the ante of the content maybe, or just hopefully get the new support, I guess, during the time of this month. But footy starts soon, so I'm expecting the channel to get even better with content ahead, and I'll be definitely planning some stuff going forward. But obviously that's the goal, to get to 2,900 by the end of this month. So if I can get there by then, it'll be fantastic for myself and the YouTube channel. But everyone, without further ado, it's time to reveal my top 5 players that I can see in the NRL having a redemption this season. So number 5 starts off with Tyrone Peachey returning to the Penrith Panthers in 2023. So yeah, look, Peachey is back home. He's obviously back at the club where he probably plays best football and probably will be remembered for most of his career at the Panthers. And yeah, he's back home, and obviously he's a bit older now than the last time he was there in 2018. But look, I think he's a good pickup for the Panthers. Like, he just needs to play games, I think, first. But if he can, I guess, jab a bench spot, for example, I think, that's when he'll probably find his best footy again. Because, to be fair, Titans and Tigers aren't the best systems to be around. I mean, that's been proven with signings and stuff like that. They just seem to can't get it right, both those clubs. But I think him being at Panthers might rejuvenate him a little bit, might make him a better player, might make him realise what hard work really is and what it's like being in a champion sort of squad again. So I guess he's experienced enough to get the better out of him being in a squad like Panthers, who've just out of sight, or for the last 3 years now they've been probably the top club of the NRL, if I'm being honest. So I think Peachey going back to the Panthers is a good move for himself, and I guess just to find some good form potentially. So that's why I have him in my top 5. So I've got Tyrone Peachey number 5. Coming in number 4, I've got Talau from the West Tigers. Now, if you look back at my bold prediction series from part 1, part 2, and part 3, you'll see in one of them that I did have Talau as the most improved NRL player for 2023. And yeah, look, he has to make my top 5 somewhere. Like, he has to be in my top 5 for I guess one of the players have a redemption type season, because obviously he's had injuries, and injuries are setting back from being a potentially fantastic centre and one of the best in the comp. I think this year will be his year. If he plays enough games under Sheens, and if Tigers just give him a chance to bounce back from his injuries in general, I'll tell you what, Talau is the one to look out for, because I believe he will have a great season. I've always rated Talau as well. So yeah, if he can stay injury free, and if he can play games under Tigers and stuff like that, well, watch out, because I think he's in for a massive season. There's so much potential in Talau. Okay, on to number 3, and it's Morgan Harper from the Seagulls. So obviously a bit biased, you can say a little bit here, but it's my opinion, so I'll just give it as I say it. So yeah, so Harper number 3. I think in the past we've seen how good he can be. Like, 2021 is probably the best example, as that was his breakout year, and if you remember clearly, him and Saab were fantastic that year. They combined so well on that right-hand edge, and yeah, that was a fantastic season in general for us, and just them two together were great. But Harper's defense was fantastic. Like, he was one of the best defensive centers back then as well. His attack and his side set was fantastic. So, I think there's every chance he can bounce back this year. I really like Harper as a player. I do think that there's a lot of potential to give, and I hope Manly do give him a chance, because I think he's a fantastic player on his day. And obviously he's had some tough moments, like tough games, but everyone has tough moments and tough games, and who's to say he can't bounce back from that? Because I can definitely see that he has improved over time from those games, despite it being a bad season last year. But yeah, no, I think he'll be ready for a big season ahead. So Harper in number 3. All right. On to number 2, and that's Edward Kosi from the New Zealand Warriors. Now, Edward Kosi is someone that, towards back in 2022, improved massively, and obviously it's good to see him come such a long way after the horror Anzac Day game in 2022, where on that left side he had some defensive issues, like in too many tries on the edge, and yeah, Storm ran rampant around his edge on that left-hand side on Anzac Day, and yeah, it wasn't a good night for him. But despite having a couple of bad games, he's come back well, and I think he's ready for a bigger and better 2023. If anything, with his improvement towards the back end of 2022, it has to be brought into this year as well. So I'm pretty confident he'll have a big year, Kosi, for the Warriors if he plays. And last but not least, number 1, it is Reece Walsh from the Brisbane Broncos, the new signing for the Broncos in 2023. Look, I think it's safe to say that he has had a couple of off moments at the Warriors, and his defence has been a bit of a struggle at fullback in recent times. But going back home to the Broncos, I think, him playing around guys like Reynolds, Oates, Haas, Capel, Carrigan, all these players that are very good players in their own way. I think he'll benefit from being around a team like that. And I just think that, he will get better. Like, over time, he'll get better. I think, him just being a bit more settled now in Queensland, where his family is, and I think that without the pressure of him deciding whether to go to New Zealand and leave his child behind, or, stay in Queensland, yeah, I think it's better now that he's back home, really, and I see him having a big year for the Broncos. If Broncos are to have any success, it's going to be on the back of him. But anyway, everyone, that brings it into my 5 players that I think will have a redemption type season. If you agree, let me know in the comment section down below. But if you disagree, then be sure to give me some feedback on what you would have had instead. Like, what players would you have had in my list instead? But yeah, without further ado, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the very next one.